when I teach, most of what I teach about is I am most interested in how the poorest of the poor actually manage to make lives, not just get by. And I think the development interventions that we teach about are really important. But over the years, I've become a firm believer that whatever you do intervention-wise means nothing if there isn't some sort of social renewal element. And for me, that means it has to be part of people's collective decision-making, their imaginaries about their better futures. That also comes with respect for them and their ideas about what makes positive change and, you know, what brings about, what makes something new from, you know, really, really, really difficult circumstances. And most recently, this has come home to me, as you know, from having the privilege of working with an amazing bunch of women in Nepal. And I'm a Latin Americanist. I've worked for 20 years in Latin America, so to go to Nepal for the first time was really quite a challenge. And what struck me when I met these women were their spirit of and their commitment to making something new. And these women are women who have returned from being trafficked, many of them trafficked at a very early age, even as young as 11, and then they returned to Nepal and treated as outcasts. And these women formed their own organisation for returnee trafficked women. And, you know, when I think about development, you know, I'm a firm believer in development, but no development intervention can take away what happened to those women. You know, nothing. This was their lives for a long time, and, you know, pretty horrendous stories. And yet, working together, what they have done is they have renewed themselves, but they have renewed their collectivity. And they have been fighting for their rights as returnee trafficked women to be recognised as citizens in Nepal, because many of them returned to Nepal without citizenship because you don't get it by birth in Nepal as yet. And, you know, they said, we have the right to be citizens. And when they talk about their organisation, which is called Shakti Samuha, they talk in a way of it as a family. And the fact that they could not have got through all of these things, they then could not have got training and education without the love and understanding of their sisters, they refer to them in Shakti Samuha. And I don't have enough words really to say the admiration I have for these women. And it really makes me think that social renewal is a collective activity, and you can't just be one person alone with that type of experience, because to put it behind you and move on, you need the solidarity and support of others. And that's why I do my job, you know, to teach students about these things now, and also to try to work in partnerships with organisations like Shakti. And for me, social renewal is a collective project. It's a project for me that has spiritual dimensions, because I think however you define, you know, spiritual issues, I think the shanty towns of Lima, the west end of Newcastle, the east end of Newcastle, I mean, I've lived in both Nepal. Many of these circumstances, you know, for things to change, it has to be something beyond just a material intervention, and people need to be treated with respect and honour and esteem, and that for me is at the heart of social renewal, because without that it can't actually be a collective. That's a bridge between people.